Welcome in to another Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. My name is Gabe Anderson, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Emerson. Chris, how we doing?
Man, we're doing great. I mean, we're on to the second round and probably my favorite matchup for us, in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I am excited as well. There's really no reason as a Wolves fans not to be excited right now. I went to game 4, like I said in my post-game podcast, maybe the best game I've ever been to. Any level. It was fantastic. But before we get into all the matchups, I have something exciting to announce here. We have done a little bit of a team up with 612 Tees. You can find them on Twitter. They're an Etsy shop, and they just make awesome Timberwolves shirt. If you're looking for a Timberwolves shirt, or they even do Vikings, Wild, a little bit of Twins, even some golf as well. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I'll show you a few of them. This is one that he just tweeted about. You can find him on Twitter. This one right here, the nice Nickeil Alexander-Walker shirt, nice. Like that. Yeah, it was, I believe it was Star Wars Day yesterday. Wasn't it May 4th yesterday? Yeah. So that would be perfect for that. Another one I love as well. This one right here, the Nas, 1-800-NAS-READ. It says it on the front as well. Love that one. And then this one as well. It's crazy. This guy, Cole's his name. He adds stuff so much. Like, he adds stuff a lot. Like, even we were looking at shirts, and then there was more added the day after. So there's this one as well. The look from Nas Reed. Gotta love that one. So
I think there's 50 some.
Yeah. There's at least, I think, somewhere near 50 different variety of Wolves shirts that you can check out. If you're listening on the podcast, just check him out. 612 Tees. You can find him on Twitter. The link for the Etsy shop is in the description. So just look in the description of this video or of the podcast, and you'll be able to find him. And something very exciting, use promo code RUN30. That's RUN30 to get 30% off your first purchase. So you can't get better than that.
30% off, RUN30.
It helps out the podcast. It helps out him as well. It's a mutually beneficial local Minnesota company here. Find your new favorite Wolves shirt. It's a fun time right now. So thank you, 612 Tees. And they're going to be with us throughout the entirety of the playoffs. So keep it tuned to Running with the Timberwolves. With that out of the way, the Wolves are taking on the Golden State Warriors.
I'm excited for this matchup. I mean, it's going to be a different style matchup than we just had. So, I mean, that's going to be cool. There's going to be still some of that drama, like the Rudy and Luka like we had. It's going to be Rudy and Draymond. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of electricity. I mean, this is a team that Anthony Edwards said he wants to face. So, I mean, let's have at it.
Yeah, and I just saw a tweet before we came on here. Randy Orton, you've heard of the wrestler Randy Orton?
Oh, yeah.
His kind of HMO is the legend killer. And he posted a picture of him handing a necklace that said legend killer from him. It's like a drawing, but of him to Anthony Edwards. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, Ant and the squad has an opportunity to go from beating Durant to beating Jokic to then beating LeBron and Luka, and now an opportunity to beat the Warriors. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be great, and we match up well. Like, we should be favored in a lot of these games. It's really just going to be a matter of us playing good basketball. I don't think there's a lot that the Warriors, I don't think we should be overly worried about the Warriors. It's just a matter of, if we play bad, well, then, we're not going to play well. But if we play our basketball, I think we should handle them pretty easily. It's kind of scary to say that, but that's who we are as a squad now.
Right. And I think that obviously fans, home court advantage games, first game is tomorrow. Obviously fans are going to be all up in the Jimmy Butler thing, the Rachel Nichols, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. But let's be honest, I don't think it's a big motivating factor for the players whatsoever. I mean, if you look at the facts, there's no one left from that team. There's not a single player left from that team. There's even different owners from that team, from that Butler team, completely different front office from that team. So it's a completely different thing. Now, obviously, like I said, fans are going to get into it. Fans are going to jeer Jimmy Butler probably pretty hard. But I don't know if for the players it's that much of a motivating factor.
I think except for Jimmy. I think for Jimmy, there's something there where he wants to show. I mean, although he's skipped every time he's had to come to Minnesota, but
one time. He's been here one time. 2021 or 2022 or 2021.
Yeah, I think it's 2021 was the last time he's been here.
It's when Ant had that dunk on I think Gabe Vincent.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting for him, but in reality, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think we care. And Jimmy Butler's all right, and he's something to keep an eye on. But he's not really even the concern for the Timberwolves on that team. Like, it's stop Curry, and then you're fine.
Right, yeah, for sure, particularly at Jimmy's age. Now, there's always the thing of playoff Jimmy. That's always a factor. Now, Steph Curry this season versus the Wolves, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that he's good against everybody, but still, 28.8 points, 7.5 assists, 44% from the field. He has shot well, 45% from three on 5.5 makes per game, but he's been hot the last two games against the Wolves. 31 points per game, 14 of 28 from three, 50% in his last two games against the Wolves. So what's the key to shutting him down? Or is it more he's going to have his and then we'll take our chances with everyone else?
I don't know. I would like to say let's make his life as difficult as he can.
I agree.
Because he's a lot of times the arrow at the end of the offense. So, like, he's not exactly the guy that is setting everybody up so much, kind of like how Luka was or like how Jokic is, where you kind of let them get maybe score as long as they're not affecting the entire game. Mm-hmm. I think that's more of a Jokic thing than a Luka thing, but Curry's different. Curry's the kind of guy where it's pass, and then he's the guy that gets it at the end to kill the shot. So I think focusing on him differently is important. I hope that we don't, I mean, I've been saying this, I said this versus Luka. I hope we don't just stick Jaden on him and say that's what we're going to do, but I'm guessing that's what we're going to do. And, the numbers that you said, what he's done to us in the past, I mean, that's who's been his primary defender every time is Jaden. So I like Nikhil. I like the smaller, quick guys on dudes like that. Mm-hmm. But Finch likes Jaden on that. And I think what the benefit of just sticking Jaden on the guy, even if he's not that effective defending him, is everybody else kind of knows their role after that. So it might be more just keeping everybody else's role where they're used to playing. Maybe that's the benefit of it, but yeah, I mean, he's going to be the interesting factor. Like, is his thumb okay? Is he going to go for 100? Who knows? Like, that guy he still has the ability to do magical things.
Right. And I think a big factor in the series is something that the Wolves did extremely well in the last series, which is rebounding. And I think they did fantastic in the last series. Now, the Warriors against the Rockets were out-rebounded about 7.5 per game. They were out-rebounded about 3 offensive points, boards per game. And the big one, paint points. So total paint points, they were about a -12 per game. So I really think that we can beat them down low. With the interesting matchup for me is Draymond Green against Julius Randle, because Draymond Green's going to be motivated. There's, like you said, the hostilities between the Wolves and Draymond Green. Well, really, the hostilities between Draymond Green and everybody, let's be completely honest, and the whole Rudy Gobert thing. But I think we can pound them in the paint once again in this series. I mean, if you look at paint points for the last series, on average, the Wolves were +15 per game on paint points. Now, obviously, the Warriors are going to shoot better than that. But I think we can pound them down low and attack the basket against the small lineups. Looney doesn't play that much. Kuminga doesn't play that much.
Right.
So I don't know. I think we can attack the paint.
I think, yeah, I mean, Draymond's still a real solid defender.
Yes.
And I think he's the type of guy who's going to give Randall some trouble. And I think would be smart for Kerr to do that, because taking Randall out of our offense does limit it dramatically. Like, he does do a lot of stirring of our offense, even if it's just getting to the corner, getting to the free throw line and kicking it out to start the ball swinging around. Eliminating that would really gum up what we got going. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I would like to see a lot of big to big passing. Like, I think what's going to happen is Randall's going to have so much attention, where I would like to see him trying to get the ball over to Rudy, or J-Mac, like McDaniels. If he attacks, then him trying to find Rudy. That's what got Rudy all those buckets the last game. Like, it's not, Rudy doesn't score baskets because he's doing great offensively. Rudy scores baskets because our offense is doing great and our players are finding him. Like, if Rudy goes for 25, it's not because he's isolation, not like, or his shots falling that day or anything. It just means that people are passing him the ball and he's dunking it, So I would like more of that. Like, take that easy bucket, So we're gonna have to do that to make them honor Rudy a little more. It's gonna be fun, man. I love the playoffs. There's so much chess pieces being moved around.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a completely different series than the Lakers series, because Luke and LeBron, they're slow, they're methodical. The Warriors, they run plays, they run back screens, they run maneuvers where they get wide open layups. The
ball's moving everywhere.
The ball's moving all the time. Curry's all over the place. So it's going to be a completely different animal, which it should be in the playoffs. Every series should be a whole new set of obstacles for the squad. Like, for example, I was looking at some of the stats. The Warriors, you want to know how they won, despite, even though the Rockets shot technically better percentage from three for the series, I think it was 37-35. The Warriors averaged 15 more 3-point attempts per game than the Rockets and made 5 more of them. There's your ball game right there. So as much as, like I was mentioning about paint points, it's also going to be important to get out on shooters and contest and make it difficult. Like you said, make it difficult for Curry. And we saw in Game 7, Buddy Hield got going. I'm not too scared of Hield overall, but if he gets it going, he's a streaky shooter for sure. They have some other guys, Gary Payton Jr., Moses Moody, that can get it going. So this is going to be a completely different series than the Lakers series.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, and there's so many interesting dynamics. Like, you were talking about defensively and trying to limit guys, but I mean, when you have guys like they're going to have Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler out there a lot of times. Both of those guys, like, when I saw them defending Draymond Green the same way they defended Shaquille O'Neal back in the day. I mean, or Ben Simmons, if you want. Like, the defender was in the paint while Draymond Green was at the 3-point line. So there's you don't honor his shot at all. And Jimmy Butler right now is shooting 27%, from three this postseason on 2 attempts a game. So he's not looking to shoot either. So you've got some guys that you can sag off of. Sometimes that plays into their hands where they can attack you differently. It's going to be fun to watch these coaches coach. And I think we have a deep enough team. Like, we can bring in Clark, we can bring in, other guys that can defend Curry and just to run, just to get some miles on their legs. I hope we pull the right strings, because it's going to be one of those series where some coach is going to have to pull one magic string that works.
Right. And I tweeted this. I saw that the coach of the year, results came out of who got what votes, and JJ Redick got 5th place in votes. And I said, well, it's obvious that is a regular season award, because honestly, just looking back at the games, JJ Redick gets a D- or an F for how he handled that series. Now, he's a rookie coach, right? So he doesn't have as much experience that most coaches do when they go into the playoffs. But I mean, Steve Kerr we're not going to have that luxury with Steve Kerr, because Steve Kerr's been through it all. 4 championships, how many finals that he's been to. And it's not like, yes, he has Jimmy Butler, which is different, but this is really the same team that they've had for a little bit. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins is gone, but whatever. But we're not going to have that luxury. And I think what it's going to really come down to, I was looking at some of the stats, and in the clutch, the Wolves all season were awful in the clutch. I think they were like 20 and 26 in clutch. But in the playoffs so far, both teams have had 3 clutch games. The Wolves have a best offensive rating of 170 and the second best defensive rating of 82.4 and the best net rating of 87.6. Now, you think that's great, but the Warriors, second best offensive rating in the clutch, almost as much as the Wolves, 169.2. Fourth best defensively, 90.9, and the second best defensive rating. Now, the Wolves, this is a crazy stat right here. And Charlie Walton, we've had him on the show before. He's great. Check him out. But he tweeted this: the Wolves in clutch so far this season, or not this playoffs, I mean, in the 3 games, 61% from the field, 62% from 3. Meanwhile, the Warriors, 41% and 37% from 3. Both teams 3-0 in the clutch. So I think these games are going to come down to it, and whoever can execute late in the fourth quarter are probably going to come out on top. I think these are going to be some nail biters.
Yeah. I like who we have, I like who we have in Anthony Edwards and that sort of thing, because I'm not afraid of anyone on the Golden State roster to challenge him at the rim. Like, not one human being on their entire roster. So that's a huge win. That post guy, I don't know is he a shot blocker? He must have some sort of post, like that big
Quentin
white
Post.
dude.
Quentin Post. Not that I think he's more of like a shooter.
A 3-point shooter. Yeah. So I can see a lot of attacking the rim going on in this series. If it's Anthony Edwards, if it's Julius Randle, if it's hopefully even more than both of those guys, Jaden McDaniels. Like, there's no reason why Jaden should be shooting threes in this game. With the size of the defenders that he's going to be able to, if he gets, if he attacks a closeout, he's so long and he can finish around the rim at such a pretty good clip. There's no one that can challenge him there. So I hope we attack the rim. I hope we shoot, 3 times the free throws they do. I hope we really punish them for being small. That's what I want to see this series.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was talking about, the paint points, 50 to 35 on average for the Wolves in the last series. We punished them in the paint, and we're going to need to do it again sure. in this next series. Now, interesting side tidbit here. This is the 3rd time in NBA history that the 6th seed has met the 7th seed in the second round of the playoffs. The other 2 times, Houston versus the Seattle Supersonics in 1987. And the Supersonics won that series. The other time, 2023, Golden State versus the Lakers. And the Lakers ended up winning that series, meaning that the only 2 times. No, they did not. That was the Nuggets year.
That was okay.
Yeah. So the Lakers were the bubble title.
That's right.
So unfortunately, history is not on our side on that. Both times the 7 seed won. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, the odds can't happen 3 times in a row.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, we're gonna win this series. I would almost guarantee it. I mean, unless something wild happens, like injury wise, knock on wood. I mean, best case scenario, Golden State on old legs, Curry's hurt. They have to go to 7 games versus a physical, tough Houston team that like was out running these guys hard. And now they got to come to a rested but not over rested Timberwolves team that just got done physically dismantling a team in the paint, which is the exact same style of game that we have to play in this game. So we're like tuned up and ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things going in our way right now. And we've got a motivated monster in Anthony Edwards who called his shot saying he wants to see Golden State this year. Like he called it in the offseason saying he doesn't care what happens in the playoffs. He just wants to run into Golden State. Like that's wild to say. And then to get that opportunity. Then they throw Jimmy Butler on there too, which I know he has a little bit of beef with. Like he's gotten his face a little bit. Not like I don't think any of that matters to him long term, but
right.
Woo, I mean, it's going to be electric. I mean, and it's going to be all the talk of the town and all the big talking heads. So, I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was just looking at the stats you were mentioning earlier, Draymond Green's defense. And he obviously the primary defender on Sengun last series. And I don't know, Sengun had pretty decent stats, shot 45% from the field, 37 from 3, although that's not really his thing. Right. Averaged about 20 points per game. So I don't know. I think that Randall can
he'll be able to score on him.
Yeah. I think he'll be able to, particularly, I don't know how much backhand help there'll be on Julius Randle.
Right.
Because you know that Draymond Green, the first time he stops Randle, is going to pump his chest and start yelling stuff at the crowd and stuff like that. So I almost think if we can get Draymond rattled a little bit, because that's what Draymond's trying to do. He's just trying to rattle you. He's just trying to get in your head. He wants to play the villain, and he's been doing that since he was drafted. Let's be completely honest. So if you don't let him be the villain and you're just like, oh, okay, good play. You just give him a little clap and then you go to the next play, you can make him look like a fool.
And Julius Randle, for one, is a very calm character on the court. He's very rarely in his emotions. Rudy sometimes gets in his emotions, but he's pretty good too. So we should be all right with the main culprits. And then Anthony Edwards, I think Draymond knows by now that he knows not to get Anthony Edwards going because he's the opposite. Like if you try to get in his head, that's trouble. So I think we're mentally prepared for this series. Like where Karl-Anthony Towns last year, that's a guy you can get in his head, and that can be effective. We don't have that type of roster.
Right. And I think the guy that's going to be, if he's not motivated already to try to win a championship, he's going to be motivated playing his former team, Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, he made a lot of effort plays. Like he made a lot of crafty plays in the first round. He's just not hitting his shots.
Yep. And that has to change.
Yeah. He's got to start hitting.
That has to change. And as much as we want to celebrate Naz Reid for what he did in the fourth quarters, which is great, that's 90% of what he did in the entire series because he did nothing in the first 3 quarters of almost every game. So he needs to play better. Right. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker needs to play better. Like those are our 3 bench guys, and we didn't get huge impact from any of them. I mean, we got good impact and they were all fine. I'm not going to say they had bad series, but we're trying to win a title here. Not having bad series isn't what we're looking for. Like we need more guys that are having great series. Like you need to be on your best games, not just not being bad. So let's see Dante explode. I need at least one 20-point game out of him this series. And I would love one out of Nickeil also, because both of those guys have the ability to be a huge spark off the bench. They just need to make it happen.
I mean, because when you think about the Golden State Warriors, you think obviously the 3-pointer because of historically. But I mean, they did shoot the second most 3-pointers this year. but not really consistently. I mean, they only shot like 37% from the field from 3-pointer in the regular season this year. So they're not.
Where did that rank?
I think somewhere in the middle. I'll find the official stat, but man, they shoot a lot. But if you can get them missing or keep them in their range a little bit, I think they're very beatable.
Well, I mean, it's that whole live by the three, die by the three.
Right.
I mean, if they're hot, it's going to be trouble. You know, just like the Timberwolves were game 1 versus the Lakers. Like when we hit 50% of our threes, like we're not going to be beaten by anybody, no matter what. And it'll be the same thing with them. They just have a little bit more margin of error because they're shooting so many of them.
Right.
But yeah, if they're cold, if they're shooting NBA average or below, like they're losing. So like they just hope that those shots are falling.
36% good for 16th.
Okay, so like dead center. What was our percentage?
I think like a percent better. I think we're 5th. Let's see, I got it right here. 5th with 37.4%.
So it's about the same.
It's about the same, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's about the same. It's going to depend on who hits them, and it's going to depend on rebounding as well, where I think we have a huge advantage. I saw the stats. It sounded like the Warriors were the worst rebounding team in the first round. So, I mean, that's advantage.
The Rockets went big versus them and showed that it was effective. I mean, they went with who's that big old dude?
Sengun?
Adams. Yeah, Sengun and Adams a lot.
Yeah.
And when those two were in there, I mean, it was causing havoc. And Adams, I mean, he's a quality player, and what he does well. But he's not as good as Rudy Gobert. You know,
right.
Rudy Gobert is more of an impact player than Adams is at this point. And I mean, I wouldn't say Randall is Sengun. They're different, but they both put pressure on the other team's defense in kind of a similar way off the dribble. So things that we saw that were effective for Houston can easily be copied by Chris Finch, and I'm sure he has some things figured out already. So we kind of got a sneak preview getting tape from this Houston series of what we got to look at.
Right. I totally agree. So let's get to it. I know you already kind of tipped your hand a little bit. Who wins and in how many games?
I'm going to say it's going to be Wolves, and I think Golden State will be lucky if they get to 5. I think it's going to be like that. It's going to be 4. It's going to be 4 or 5. I'll say 5 just because it's Minnesota nice.
I am going to go Wolves in 6. I'm going to be a little more conservative than you. I think that Curry in general has a potential to win a game or two.
I'll take either one of those
for the Warriors, and let's game 6 in Golden State. Let's end the dynasty. Let's end it. I would love to have the opportunity to end it. That would be fantastic.
So would Anthony Edwards. He would dance on that court very happily.
Yeah, for sure. It was almost like my friend's a big Titans fan, so the Ravens player one time like stomped on the logo after a playoff game. I don't know if he'd do that, but he'd do something for sure.
He would.
Anyway, this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. And I want to remind you, check out 612 Tees, and the website is in the description of this episode. Find your new favorite shirt or sweatshirts. They sell sweatshirts as well. And use promo code RUN30. Use RUN30, RUN30.
30% off, RUN30.
For 612 Tees. Anyway, Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. On to the next one. Let's get a win tomorrow.
Let's do it. And this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and or Apple. And as always, go Wolves.